this college softball doubleheader between the BU Terriers and the Yale Bulldogs. This is Leverett Ball alongside my broadcast partner, Rob Marcello. The Terriers with a convincing win in Game 1. And, Rob, what do you think is the mindset heading into Game 2 here?
Well, I think this needs to be very similar to Game 1. And just in terms of, talking with Coach Warners and just knowing what kind of team that she coaches over the years, you have to score runs if you want to win games, especially in the game of softball, because some of these games are very low scoring, and that's what we thought Game 1 was going to be. But then BU was able to jump out and do a late lead there in the bottom half of the fifth, and then in the sixth they were able to open things up and make it pretty easy for Ricard in the seventh.
One thing I'll say also, Rob, the Terriers didn't have to go to the bullpen at all. Obviously able to go the distance with their starter Ricard, so that gives them, a lot of flexibility as far as what they can do here in Game 2, with their pitching staff. But, the Terriers, they're really able to kind of catch fire offensively in the late innings after the game was tied up 2-2 for most of it. And, the final score almost misleading as far as how close it was for most of the game. And, what do you think the Terriers need to do to kind of keep the momentum going offensively? Did you see any adjustments kind of in their at-bats in the later innings?
Yeah, I think just overall as a team continuing to put the pressure on Yale.
100%. But, folks, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back next with some University. As the anticipation for this Game 2 building. The Terriers, Game 1 of the doubleheader, playing their home opener and trying to build some momentum as they head towards in-conference play. We talked, Rob, earlier in the broadcast about how the Terriers, first place in the Patriot League at the moment, Yale, first place in the Ivy League at the moment. Both these teams coming into this doubleheader with a lot of confidence. What do you need to do in that situation, when you have that confidence, you've been playing well, to kind of keep the momentum going and not get complacent?
I think anytime, we're somewhat in the middle part of the season, which is crazy to think. We're talking about mid-March.
Yeah.
In the middle part of the season, because some of these teams, they start in late January, February with their preparation in the season. It's a really long season. You play a lot of games, and you kind of go by series, I feel like, to be honest with you. Especially when you get into conference play, when, you're staying overnight at places. Obviously, right now, Yale, of course, this is probably just a day trip for them. But look at some of these other schools. Yale quickly has to go around tomorrow, and they have to play another game. So they really can't just sit there and think about it and waste time thinking about a game that has already been played. So this second game, I think, for both of these teams is kind of a clean slate.
100%. And, yeah, the Terriers obviously – Game 1, some great pitching from Ricard, And, with the Terrier pitching staff being a little bit depleted because of injuries, they're going to rely on her heavily for the remainder of this season. In Game 1, looking through the Terriers lineup, was there anyone whose performance maybe surprised you a little bit? Someone who's able to kind of heat their bat up a little bit and, have a big game?
I would say, in terms of not surprising me, Brooke Deppie is, of course, one of the only returns from last year's starting lineup. I think you look at a player like maybe Megan Coyle. I would say she did a really, really good job in that Game 1. Taisha Williams as well, returning from last year's team, but didn't start every single game. So she was able to go in there and in more of a pitch running role and pinch fielding role, but came on here so far in 2025. He's had a really good year. Coach Waters talked about how they need to be a little bit more emphasis on getting more runs and helping out Casey Ricard, and they're able to do that in that first game, but of course late in the game would have loved to get all those runs earlier on in the game to make it a little easier for her, but she did a really good job after that first inning, didn't let up any other runs the rest of the day.
100%. We talked about it, the importance of being able to bounce back. They had to have been demoralizing for her to give up the 2-run home run with 2 outs in the first inning, but Yale was not able to score a single run after that. She really bounced back. And, we saw her overpowering a lot of hitters, but in the later innings, starting to use some of her off-speed pitches a little bit more, kind of showing a versatile arsenal as we take a look at BU's setup defensively for Game 2. Yeah, taking a look at Haley Ganino's stats thus far in the season. Trying to pick up her first win. A junior from Azusa, California. And she'll be on the hill here, Game 2. And Tara's looking to continue the momentum. But yeah, so 3 appearances on the season, but only 1 start. So they've she's been versatile, you know, being able to start, come out of the bullpen, do a little bit of everything. And, you know, she can be, I mean, she's someone who can mix up and throw off-speed pitches, but she can be a power pitcher when she wants to be. She can really put some zip on it. But yeah, she played her high school softball at Glendora. Taking a look now at the Yale lineup, Caitlin Oikel will lead off, followed by Lauren Perrin. Sophie Woodridge hitting third. Katie Donahue in the cleanup spot. Isabella Fortini batting fifth. Alex Perrin batting sixth. Grace Westmoreland batting seventh. Ava Kang eighth. And Elena Ohi ninth.
Michael playing in that first game. Did go 0 for 2, but was able to make it really long at bats.
As we're ready to rock and roll here in Game 2. And here's the pitch. And that one catching the top of the zone for strike one. For anyone just joining us, the Terriers able to pick up the win in Game 1 of this doubleheader. As that one missing outside, a count even at 1-1. This is Leverett Ball alongside my broadcast partner, Rob Marcello. An out-of-conference matchup here for the Terriers against Yale of the Ivy League. And missing down and away that time. Took something off that one, trying to get her to chase. Oikel wasn't fooled. And here comes the 2-1. Missing down and away again. Rob, she's continued to pitch down and away, trying to get Oikel to chase.
Early on in the game, you really want to be able to establish the strike zone. Not able to do that so far in a 3-1 count.
As Ganino checks the wristband for the pitch and delivers. And a little dribbler fielded by Ganino, throw on to first. And one away.
Really good play by the pitcher there to go out of their position and really made a nice play, just getting the runner in Oakland in time.
As here is Lauren Perrin hitting in the 2-hole, as she did in Game 1. And the pitch, that one flared into right center and put away. And quickly 2 up, 2 down.
Really good job there in the circle by Ganino.
As it'll bring up Sophie Woodridge, the senior from Fayetteville, New York. As once again, Ganino delivers. That one missing outside and back to the backstop, no one on base, so no harm done. As that one line down the left field line, that's a fair ball. And a base hit and a runner aboard for Yale.
First base runner of this game, too, here for Yale. Good start for them.
As here's Katie Donahue, the cleanup hitter.
Donahue, we saw her in game 1, Leverett.
Yeah, as a strike on the outside corner, yes. She had some pretty confident at-bats, had some big swings. Her last at-bat hit a screamer, but right at the center fielder. And the pitch flared and caught, as that'll do it for the top half of the first. But folks, we'll be back next with the bottom half of the inning. You're watching college softball for the first as Sienna Reynolds taking over on the hill for Yale, getting the start here in game 2. This season 3-3 record, ERA of 6.21. As that one dropped in center field, this will be extra bases. And digging for 3, throwing to third, and the throw gets away, but quickly scooped up. As leadoff triple for the Terriers.
That would have been an incredible play out at center, Leverett, but instead she misses it. Instead of maybe keeping it to a single, now it's a triple.
And that's the risk when you go for the diving catch. Kylie Doherty coming out swinging with the leadoff triple. As now the Terriers are looking to pick up their first run of the game. As that one misses for ball 1. As Brooke Depius up at the plate.
Depius, our player to watch, Leverett, earlier in game 1. Currently the Terriers in batting so far in 2025.
Yeah, Depius hitting for a high average and good power numbers. She hits here with no one out and a runner on third. And here's a pitch. That one misses. Down and away for a ball. Count 3-0. And pitching carefully to the Terriers' leading hitter, especially with the base open. And ball 4 as a walk, and that'll put runners on the corners. Sydney Pecoraro steps up to the plate.
Pecoraro having a few at-bats in the first game. Now on the lineup for the second one.
As the runner goes, and the throw cut off. As now runners at second and third. Yale calling the play there, cutting off the throw. They were trying to tempt Kylie Doherty into taking off for home, and they were going to throw her out at the plate, but she didn't fall for it. As that one fouled off. Count now 0-2. And a line drive, base hit. One run is in as the throw cut off. The runner held at third, and it's 1-0 Terriers.
BU off to a good start there. It all started with that liner out in center field. Unable to make that play, and now you turn it into a 1-0 lead.
And the Terriers not done yet. Still no outs in the inning, looking to do more damage. Here's Megan Coyle, the cleanup hitter. As that one took something off it, but catching the corner for a strike. That one missing. Count even at 1-1. And the pitch. Missing upstairs with the rise ball. Couldn't get Coyle to chase it. And the 2-1, and a base hit. This will bring in another run as it's 2-0. The Terriers continue to swing away, and it's funny, Rob, in game one, the Terriers.
Still no outs in the inning, right?
Yeah, and I mean, they got off to a slow start offensively in game one, and then their bats kind of caught fire in the late innings. This game coming out on fire offensively, I guess carrying some of that momentum from the late innings of game one.
When you start getting comfortable, you start getting confident. I feel like you're seeing that here right now. Already a talk on the circle there for Yale, already down 2-0.
As Yale kind of trying to regroup, slow down some of this Terrier momentum. And like you said, Rob, still looking to pick up their first out of the inning. And showing bunt and fouled off. As Taisha Williams digs in from the left side. Here's the 0-1 showing bunt and foul off again. As now Williams will likely be swinging with the 0-2 count. And the pitch. Rise ball. Missing upstairs. Williams did not chase. In that situation, Rob, 0-2 count, you're probably either throwing one high, trying to get her to chase, or throwing one in the dirt, but you're not throwing her anything she can hit in that situation. The 1-2, missing up and away. So the count now worked even.
Reynolds has thrown a lot of pitches already in this inning, Leverett.
You're right. I think in addition to the runs scored, some of the damage done here is getting the starter to throw a lot of pitches early on and force Yale to maybe use their bullpen. As that one fouled off towards the broadcast booth. If there wasn't a net there, I'd have a broken face at this very moment. As here's the 2-2. And hit on the ground. And were they able to get the double play, the tag, and the throw to first. But are they going to rule that she was able to make the tag, or did she miss it?
So they're going to say that she did not make the tag
Okay.
from that runner from first to second. So there's only one out, but there's now runners at second and third.
Right. It's funny because Williams was showing bunt earlier in the bat, and that ground out effectively turns into basically a sacrifice bunt.
I'll be honest, I thought Yale just converted that double play. I was a little surprised that she missed the tag.
Right. So the Terriers went out with one out, two runners in scoring position. So look to add to their lead. Already up 2-0 here in the bottom half of the first. This is Leverett Ball alongside my broadcast partner Rob Marcello as we bring you this out-of-conference matchup. The Patriot League BU Terriers taking on the Ivy League Yale Bulldogs.
Not a big enough backstop at BU softball field for that run to come across.
Yes. As the count now 2-1. And that one dribbled. Throw on to first, and another run in. As now 2 outs the inning, the Terriers up 3-0. It's a productive out and an RBI. The Terriers continue to do damage as The Terrors now looking to do some more damage here with 2 outs as Addie Lucier steps up to the plate. Lucier, a freshman from Salem, New Hampshire, digging in from the left side as that pitch misses up and in, count 2-0. That one misses as well. Now a 3-0 count. We'll see if Lucier is just taking all the way here. As now stepping off the mound, now stepping back on, Reynolds. And the 3-0. Strike over the outside corner.
Reynolds so far in the circle has allowed 3 runs. See if she can get back to the dugout, get things to the second.
As that one misses outside and a walk. As that'll keep the inning alive and put runners at first and third. As the Terriers looking to add to their lead. Cameron Lyons steps up to the plate. And immediately hit by the pitch as that will load the bases.
BU here with obviously some success in this first inning. Some done by themselves, some done by the other team. And they've had multiple walks in the inning. They've had now a hit by pitch. So not a recipe for success for Yale if they want to win this second game.
Definitely not, as Livia Christopher, the catcher, steps up to the plate. The base is loaded and 2 outs as that one catches the corner. You know, you'll see when catchers are on deck with 2 outs, they'll have their batting helmet on and a bat in hand, but have their shin guards on as well. And then, you know, after the hit by pitch, taking the shin guards off, stepping up to the plate. As the count now 0-2. And the pitch. That one misses. The runner heading home and safe. As the Terriers add to their lead on the wild pitch. It's now 4-0.
Not a very small backstop here at BU softball field, but enough room for a run to come across. So it's now 4-0.
You know, Rob, that one, it ricocheted off the glove kind of towards the, first base dugout. Because it's a small backstop, like you said, as that one dribbled over to first, and that'll do it for the bottom half of the inning. But an effective inning for the Terriers nonetheless. They lead 4-0, as the Terriers now protecting a 4-0 lead. As that one missing outside, ball 1. Isabella Fortini digs in for Yale. Ganino back out on the mound for some more work. That one fouled off down the line. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Rob, that was very productive inning offensively for the Terriers.
And the Terriers just taking their momentum from that first game and putting it in the second game, making it a little bit easier for their pitcher out in the circle.
And the pitch fouled off towards the broadcast booth again. That's the second time the net has saved me today.
You hear that ping, it's like hitting, off of a crossbar in hockey.
Yes.
Hear that ping, and it stays there for, you hear it for about 5 to 10 seconds, and then it goes away.
As the count 1-2. You know, Rob, it's interesting. Baseball and softball, obviously, they have the foul netting to protect people from foul balls. Now, the Baltimore Orioles in Major League Baseball at one point were criticized for not having enough netting at their stadium. But what finally kind of forced them to get more netting was one of their outfielders, Jay Gibbons, hit a foul ball that actually hit and injured his wife. And at that point, they're like, okay, we don't want players hitting foul balls at their relatives. Let's, you know.
I guess that's what it took.
Yeah.
That's going to be really important for Yale in this second inning to somewhat stop the bleeding of the onslaught the BU's had. They've scored about a total of around, I would say, 10 unanswered runs in between the ending of Game 1 and Game 2. So let's see here if Yale can get some offense going.
Here's the pitch. And fielded, thrown on to first, and a quick out, and one away.
So she didn't even have to throw out to first there. She just caught that regularly. So just throwing it to first was an extra throw she had to make.
Yeah.
For the first out of the inning.
As that'll bring up Alex Perrin. Perrin digs in from the left side. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to third, thrown on to first. 2 away. Ganino keeping her pitch count down with these quick outs. As Grace Westmoreland now will step up to the plate with 2 outs, try to keep this inning alive. Westmoreland, a freshman from Atlanta, Georgia, played her high school softball at the Mount Vernon School. As that one deflects off Ganino, thrown to first. And that'll do it for the top half of the second inning. As BU motoring through, scoreless half inning for Yale. We'll be back next with the bottom half of the second. As the Terriers will look to add to their lead. And it's funny, you stop me if I sound like a broken record, as Doherty leading off. Terriers went through the entire lineup in the bottom half of the first, so back to the top of the order where they started off with Doherty.
Ella Cross can be behind. Or my apologies, Mariah Naday is going to be behind home plate now for Yale. And they also have a new pitcher in the game, so some changes here for Yale in that second inning.
Yeah, and you'll see, double headers, a lot of substitutions in Game 2. You don't want to burn anyone out.
Grace Westmoreland is going to be on the circle for Yale here, so that's the day for Reynolds. Or should be the day for Reynolds. We saw the pitcher that started the game for Yale ended up going back in the circle later on. So
and that's
you never know.
Like we talk about some of the differences between softball and baseball with the rules. Pitchers can leave the game and come back in softball. As that one hit into center field and caught, as Doherty for a second thought that it wasn't, stayed put at second base. So that ball was misjudged off the bat, but finally reeled in. I think the wind,
nice play by Donahue there.
It pushed it back a little further than Donahue initially anticipated. That is the worst in the outfield, when the wind is changing the direction and trajectory of the ball, trying to track it down. As, yes, Brooke Depius back up at the plate.
She walked. She came around to score last time she was up.
As here comes the 0-1. That one missing upstairs. 1-1. Is the count now 1-2. That one missing upstairs, even at 2-2. And hit down the line and out of reach. As Depia is sliding into second, the throw off the mark, but backed up, so no further advance from Depies, but a double and doing a dance at second base to celebrate.
Depies there with a really nice hit down the third base line. It was fair. I thought maybe that'd be a single, but with her speed, she was able to go over to second. But a really good job over at first there by Perrin. That throw a little too high there over to Oikel. Able to back that up instead of now having the runner over at third. So really good job.
So it'll bring up Sydney Pecoraro with one out and a runner on second.
Be trying to add already there, 4-0 lead here in game 2.
As that one catching the corner for strike one. And the pitch. Missing high on the rise ball. Count even at 1-1. And the 1-1. Took something off that. Missed upstairs. Now 2-1. As the Terriers looking to add to their 4-0 lead here. The bottom of the second inning here in game 2 of this doubleheader. Yeah, Rob, we talked about, during game 1, the softball field here with, the new turf in the outfield, the BU logo in center field. I like it. I think it's a cool setup.
It's a really cool setup, and they've done a lot around this ballpark.
As that one driven into right field and off the wall. Another run will come in. And looking for third and sliding in safely as it's an RBI triple. The Terriers lead 5-0.
Big triple there. Looked like they had a chance to get out there. Going the other way was Pecoraro. Hitting on top of the wall there. Nice play.
Is now one out and a runner on third. As Megan Coyle back up at the plate, digging in from the right side as she takes ball one there. And the 1-0. And that one drilled into left field. And it's gone! A home run! The Terriers lead 7-0.
BU off to a good start this afternoon in game 2. Continue to put an offensive onslaught on the Yale Bulldogs in game 2.
And Megan Coyle greeted at home plate by her teammates.
Still plenty of time left in this game, but BU right now in complete control. And if they lead by more than, I thought it was 7, it's 8. Later on in the 5th inning, this game will end after 5. So BU wants to continue to add, and Yale just wants to stop this bleeding, get into the dugout, and try to score some runs.
But yeah, BU looking great offensively here in game 2. And hitting can be contagious. When one player gets a hit, it kind of helps the confidence of other, hitters in the lineup. As that one dribbled over to the mound, throw on to first, and dropped. And the runner's safe as the Terriers with another runner aboard.
I'll be honest, Leverett, I don't even know if that would have been safe if she was able to keep that softball in her glove there.
Yeah.
Williams with incredible speed.
Yeah, Williams has some wheels. She's able to reach here with 1 out in the inning, and Yale is going to have a quick mound conference.
Spoke way too soon there based on the replay. She definitely would have been out, but
Huh.
Williams just putting pressure on the pitcher in the circle. That was a high throw over to first as well. I'm not sure.
You're right.
That's going to be awarded an error, I
think,
believe, by the first baseman, actually.
I think maybe she rushed the throw because she knew about Williams' speed. You know, when you're fielding a ground ball throwing to first, you know, you're more comfortable taking your time if the person running down the line isn't that fast. But Williams, one of the fastest players on this Terrier roster, so she had to rush the throw a little bit and maybe contributed to the throwing error. As Westmoreland looks in for the sign and delivers. And showing bunt there was Libby Walsh fouling it off. And that time it looked like she was trying to bunt for a hit. One of the biggest differences between a sacrifice bunt and a bunt for a hit is when you're bunting for a hit, you don't square around as early. You try and catch them off guard. So that one dribbled foul, but yeah, she showed bunt very late, you know, trying to catch Yale off guard, but fouling it off. And also, when you try to bunt for a hit, you either want to lay down a perfect bunt or foul it off, because if it's not perfect and it's a fair ball, you're likely going to get thrown out at first.
Excellent double play there, Leverett.
That's what Yale needed, that double play, as they're finally able to escape the inning. But the Terriers now, as we head to the top half of the third inning, Ava Kang will lead things off here for Yale. And digs into the lefty batter's box. As that pitch missing for ball one is Ganino back out on the circle, still with a shutout going here in the early innings. Yeah, Rob, you know, we talked earlier about how Ganino has both pitched out of the bullpen and started for the Terriers, but I mean, with how comfortable she's looked thus far here in game two as the starter, perhaps maybe this is the role that the coaching staff will decide that she's most comfortable in.
And I think in these double headers, always having someone in that second game being ready to go that can pitch for length is always nice.
100%. As ball four, and the leadoff hitter on for Yale here in the top half of the third.
Their second runner overall in the game. Obviously, we saw that base hit by Woodridge in that top half of the first.
And Yale trailing by 7. They need base runners as Elena Ohi steps in, fouling off the first pitch she sees.
Ohi there swinging early. That ball was right down the plate. Just missing it there late on the swing.
As that one flared and caught for the first out of the inning.
Good job by Deppie as there, Leverett. First almost jumped up, but then saw it wasn't going to go very far. Able to keep her feet on the ground. Nice play.
And that one kind of a jam shot, that pitch running in on the hands. Not hit very hard. And showing bunt there was Caitlin Oikel, but then pulling it back.
Christopher behind the plate there could have easily thrown over to first. Kang there sleeping over at first.
Showing bunt again, now pulling back. The count 2-0. As Coach Waters will call timeout and go chat with Ganino on the circle.
They might have a play set up here, Leverett. BU up 7-0 already. Yale trying to make a little bit of a comeback here, trying to make the score a little bit different here. Still plenty of time left in this game.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that Yale has going for them is despite the big BU lead, still, plenty of softball to be played. It's still in the early innings. I mean, I guess to quote the Rolling Stones, they have time on their side here in the early innings. And hey, Rob, I get one corny joke a broadcast, so I'm done.
That's all.
And that one catching the corner for strike one. As once again, Oikel showing bunt initially and then pulling back. Let's see what she does here. That time swinging, fouling it off as the count now will be even at 2-2.
One of the things you notice here in softball is how close the dugouts are to the actual playing surface and how close the batter on bat circle is in softball. You have to be very careful, and you always have to be aware in that spot.
Oh, yeah, as that one dribbled foul. The count still 2-2 with one out and a runner on first. Here's the pitch. That one misses outside. The count now full.
That looked awfully close to me there, Lever, but the home plate umpire has, of course, a much better vantage point than we do, so that's going to be a ball.
As Oikels worked a long at bat here, working the count full. And fouling it off, the at bat will continue.
Really good at bat here for Oikel.
Well, in the second inning, Ganino didn't have to throw that many pitches, but Oikel here working along at bat, this can maybe get Ganino's pitch count up. Make it harder for her to go deep in this game. Fouled straight back. Oikel not going down without a fight.
Very competitive at bat here in the third inning, down by 7 runs. Yale. No quitting them this afternoon.
Definitely not. As Ganino looks to the wristband, now delivers. And fouled off again, that time down the line.
A few times now we've had a ball right down the line.
Right. That one misses upstairs and a walk. Great at bat by Oikel.
Not back-to-back walks, but the second walk of the inning here. When you're a pitcher and you're sitting in the dugout for long periods of time, sometimes there's a letdown. I feel like we're having a letdown in this inning from Janino.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to stay in a rhythm when, your team's scoring a lot of runs. And like you said, you have those long breaks. As here's the pitch. Driven to right field, but caught. As Lauren Perrin is retired, she hit that ball hard.
Right to Williams.
Right at Williams, the right field. She barely had to move.
Williams, all she had to do is take maybe a half of a step with her right foot there. Really nice play by Williams. Something we saw in that first game with Cross, right? For Yale, she came in sooner before she should have. Went over her head, and we were tied earlier in that game.
Right. Sometimes the ones hit right at you are the hardest to read off the bat because you think you have to drop back or come in when you don't. But I'd honestly argue that your ability to read the ball off the bat and take the correct first step is actually more valuable than speed as an outfielder. They're both valuable, but it makes such a big difference. I mean, Williams has both, She's done a good job reading the ball off the bat, but she's also a burner on the base paths. Count now 1-1. Woodridge dribbles that one over to short. Throwing to first, and that'll do it. The top half of the third, a score. The official championship jeweler of the Patriot League. And the Patriot League, we're today's scholar athletes, we're tomorrow's leaders. We are the Patriot League. As BU looking to add to their 7-0 lead here in the bottom half of the third. As Addie Lucier digging in from the left side. Here comes the 1-1. As that one missing, 2-1. As the Terriers' offense has been on fire here in the early goings of game 2 of this doubleheader. Megan Coyle, of course, with the home run to left center earlier. And the 3-1. Upstairs, ball 4, the leadoff runner aboard for the Terriers.
BU trying to continue their success that they've had in the last 2 innings in the bottom half. Of course, scoring 4 in the bottom half of the first, and then coming back with 3, and we saw a heck of a home run there by Megan Coyle.
As Cameron Lyons digs in from the left side. And lays down a bunt. Throw on to first. Out as the sacrifice bunt successful. Able to advance Lucier to second base is now a runner in scoring position with 1 out in the inning.
Looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter here for BU.
Yeah, Olivia DeLong will pinch hit here. DeLong, a junior from Amesbury, Mass.
So DeLong a few times last year in the game as a pinch hitter for the Terriers. So opportunity for her to try to drive in that 8th run and then shuts things down in the 4th and the 5th and things on a positive note here in their home opener here with a doubleheader both game victory against Yale.
Yeah, and DeLong wearing the number 12, Rob. You know who wore the number 12 in college as well? This guy. But I think if, you know, she
you wore
saw
number 12 because Tom Brady wore number 12, didn't you?
I actually wore it to honor one of my old coaches who had worn number 12 in college and had passed away.
Okay.
Tom Brady also, you guys may have heard of him, he also wore number 12, but I think if DeLong saw my college baseball stats, she wouldn't want to wear the number 12. She'd think it was bad luck. As that one driven into center and caught. Runner tags and sliding to third safely. Now a runner on third with 2 down in the inning.
That was a really good job there by DeLong in a really nice throw as well, almost getting the runner over at third.
Well, yeah, Rob, you know, as far as New England athletes who wore number 12. Obviously, Brady, the most well-known one, although also
Grant Williams. Also
yes, and Mark Bellhorn, Red Sox second baseman on the 04 World Series team. As that one catching the plate for a strike, she took something off that one. As Westmoreland trying to get out of this inning without allowing the Terriers their 8th run. As that one taken for a strike, catching the top of the zone. And here comes the 0-2 to Doherty. That one missing up and away, now 1-2. And the 1-2. And a swing and a miss. Strike 3. As the Terriers come up scoreless in the bottom half of the third, unable to add to their 7-0 lead. But, folks, We'll be back next with fourth. Donahue will lead things off here in the top half of the fourth for Yale. As Yale looks to cut into this 7-0 BU lead, as Haley Ganino back out on the circle. And I'll tell you what, Rob, in this doubleheader, the Terriers have had great starting pitching, both from Ganino and Ricard in game one as well. As the count now 0-2. As that one missing, the count 1-2. Lucier digs in from the right side, Donahue from the right side. As she goes down looking, one out in the inning.
First time today we've had a strikeout, and also for Yale, first time they had a strikeout to end things in the bottom half of the third.
As here's Isabella Fortini digging in from the left side with one out. So that one misses outside for ball one. And for anyone just joining us, the Terriers leading 7-0 here in the top half of the fourth inning of game two of this doubleheader. The Terriers with the 8-2 win in game one. As a throw on to first, got her. As two quick outs in the inning.
That was a really good play there by Walsh. Played very good in game one, now playing good in game two. So no surprise there for Walsh. She's looking over out into right field. She's playing the former position of Kayla Ronson. Was an All-American for BU just a few years ago.
As that one taken for ball one as Alex Perrin digging in from the left side. Perrin, a senior on this Yale roster. Here comes the 1-0. Fouled off 1-1.
Talked about some new things in the ballpark here. Obviously, the turf field. Last year it was the signage in the outfield, and then behind home plate. You can see that at home. Turning into one of the more nicer softball facilities in Massachusetts.
No doubt, yeah, definitely a cool setup. As the count now 2-1. As Ganino delivers. And fouled off 2-2.
One of the benefits of having a turf field, of course, is this time of the year where we have cold days with rain, obviously like yesterday, or sometimes, God forbid, snow. You're quickly able to remove it with the turf.
Yeah, I mean, and you see with the spring sports in New England, early on in the season, it's still pretty cold. Not, typical, softball weather. It's the count now full. And the 3-2. And a walk. As it was close, but not quite catching the corner. As that'll keep the inning alive. And that'll bring up Grace Westmoreland. Westmoreland pitching this game, but she's a utility player. Pitches, also a position player. A good right-handed hitter. Kind of does a little bit of everything. And the pitch on the corner for strike two. The count 0-2. Ganino painting the corner there. As now Westmoreland will have to protect the plate. Down 0-2 in the count. That one missing outside, 1-2. And up and away now, 2-2. Westmoreland now has worked the count even. And here comes the 2-2. Flare down the line, foul, and nearly a great diving catch there.
Williams there getting a glove on and just the top part of the glove there. That would have been a fantastic catch.
That's the second almost highlight reel play she's made diving for foul balls. The count's still 2-2 with 2 outs and a runner on. Here's the pitch. That one flared into right field. Williams is there. As that'll do it for the top half of the fourth, as the score remains 7-0 BU. We'll be back next with the bottom half of the inning. You're watching college softball. As Brooke Depies will lead things off for the Terriers here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Westmoreland back out to pitch for Yale. As the count 1-0. That one dribbled over to short, throwing to first. Safe!
So if Westmoreland got that ball
and
was able to throw it to first, maybe she would have got him in time, but instead she overran the ball. And shortstop and Owe unable to make that play there. Tremendous speed by Depies.
Oh, yeah, as a leadoff hitter aboard here in the bottom half of the fourth. As Pecoraro takes strike one. Westmoreland delivers. Flared into right field and caught for the first out of the inning. One away.
With the sun somewhat popping out, that was a really hard fly ball to catch there because it went really high in the air as well. Nice play for the first down of the inning.
As that'll bring up Megan Coyle, the home run hitter from earlier.
She'd love to have another one here.
Why not? It's the count now 0-1. Strike two. They're pitching to her carefully because they know how much power she has. And the 0-2. In the dirt, runner takes off. And safe at second.
Heads up base running there from Depies the moment she saw it. Bounced in the dirt. She was off. Not even a throw.
And that's smart also on her part. On an 0-2 count, you know that they might be throwing one in the dirt, trying to get them to chase. So you're kind of alert for that, you know. You can take off if the ball bounces in the dirt. That one up and in. Some chin music. Count 2-2.
One of the things to note here, obviously we started after the first inning. The day in the game for Fortini. Yale has a game tomorrow against Fairfield, so trying to give the catcher some rest.
Right. Driven up the middle. That's a base hit. They're going to send the runner. The throw cut off. It's 8-0 Terriers.
Good base.
And yeah, Coyle continuing her excellent offensive day.
Good base running there for Depies once again, but an incredible hit there from Coyle there. It kind of just dribbled out into center field. And with the turf, it kind of sped up. So, BU, they're not able to score any runs in the fourth inning, and they're able to shut things down in the fifth. They'll run away with a clean sweep of the doubleheader this afternoon.
As here's the pitch. Missing down and away. As Williams digging in from the left side, here is the 1-0. That one missing outside. The count now 2-1. The Terriers looking to do more damage here in the bottom half of the fourth. Is that one just foul?
Good job by the home plate umpire. Now with this turf field, it can be really deceiving.
Oh, yeah.
It's a really good job.
A few more feet to the right. That's a fair ball and maybe another run for BU. Here comes the 2-2. Dribbled over to third, throwing to first, out. As now 2 down in the inning. As Coyle able to advance to second on the fielder's choice. So now that'll bring up the shortstop, Libby Walsh. Hitting here with 2 outs. And a runner in scoring position. The Terriers leading the Bulldogs 8-0. As that one mishandled. And they're sending the runner. Throw home. And out. They got her. The Terriers denied their 9th. But able to add 1 to their lead in the bottom half of the fourth. We'll be back next with the top half of the fifth inning. Is brought to you by PenFed. PenFed is the official credit union partner of the Patriot League. And Herff Jones is proud to be the official championship jeweler of the Patriot League. And the Patriot League. We are today's scholar athletes. We are tomorrow's leaders. We are the Patriot League. And it's a 1-0 count here. And Ganino back out on the hill again, still protecting a shutout. And the Terriers a scoreless inning here, and that's a wrap on game 2.
If they let up more than 1 run in this inning, then they'll be back for the bottom half of the fifth. But if they only let up 1 run here or they shut them out, the ball game will be over.
As Ava Kang trying to reach base here, 3-0 count.
Similar to this last inning, Yanino comes out, a little bit of a chink in the armor. Going to try to come back in this at bat, though.
Is that one catching the corner for strike 1. Now a full count to Kang. Ganino's battled back after falling behind the count 3-0. As Kang, the junior from Vienna, Virginia, digs in. And the 3-2. Foul off, and we'll do it over again. And the pitch. And a walk. Kang able to reach. So Yale's not going to go down without a fight. As Elena Ohi back up at the plate.
Kang, that's the second time today she's walked, so done a really good job taking pitches.
That one fouled off the count, 0-1.
BU here would love to score a few runs here and prolong this game for a little bit longer. BU, of course, wants to shut it down right here.
100%. Fouled off again. Count now 0-2. As Ganino delivers. Hit over to second. This is short. This could be two. Throwing to first. Safe as one out.
Really good job there. Fielder's choice. Looked like the man had a chance to double him off there, but that ball slowly going to Walsh. So
exactly.
unable to quickly make that play there. Safe for sure.
The ball hit slowly, and Ohi has good speed, so hard to turn two there.
After this one, BU will be heading towards the weekend. Yale quickly has to turn around and has to play another game. So a lot of games in a short amount of time for Yale. Not a lot of time to sit around and think about things.
As that one catching the corner for a strike. Count now 1-1. That one fouled off, making it 1-2. But yeah, the Terriers able to save their relief pitchers today, as it's been all their starters just able to go inning after inning and shut things down. And that one flared down the line, just foul. And fouled off again, and nearly hitting the bus, but yeah, Yale would have had to drive back with the
Should have had
window.
an interesting ride home for
Yes.
sure.
Would have had a grumpy bus driver on the way back if
Yes,
it shattered his window.
definitely.
It's the count 1-2 with one out and a runner on first. And the pitch. Flared into center, and that's a base hit. And that'll put runners at first and third here with one out in the inning. So now Yale looking like they have a good shot at keeping this game going. As Lauren Perrin will step up to the plate.
If Yale is able to score a run, the game will continue.
As Coach Waters will call timeout. And looks like there's going to be maybe a pitching change as she's going over to talk to the umpire.
And there certainly is going to be a pitching change. So really good job by Ganino.
Oh, yeah. Ganino leaves with an 8-0 lead. She's been lights out. Getting a round of applause from the BU fans. And we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back next.
Run.
So Johnson will face Lauren Perrin here. Yeah, Johnson this season, 6 2/3 innings pitched, 6 strikeouts. She's started 3 games and pitched 3 out of the bullpen as a throw home and out. As the Terriers running a trick play there in the 1st and 3rd situation.
That was a big out there. Another 1 out away from ending this one there. Gutsy call there from Yale.
As now 2 outs in the inning. Terriers just an out away from closing out this win.
What a great throw as well, right on the dime there.
Man, a strike on the corner, 0-2, now a pitch away. As Johnson delivers. That one missing up and away.
Johnson in a really weird spot late in this game being inserted in. I think Ganino had enough there for your Coach Waters.
As now the count 1-2, the pitch. Missing outside, 2-2.
A little bit more study hall time, right? If you're able to finish this one off. So, yes, you're happy that you won, of course, but now you have a little bit more time to relax.
Exactly. Do some homework. And that's the thing, the topic of homework, both, Ivy League and Patriot League, 2 of the best academic conferences in college sports. So some pretty studious athletes playing in those conferences. As that one popped up and put away, and that'll do it. As the Terriers sweep the doubleheader, winning Game 2 by a score of 8-0. A dominant performance in Game 2, but Rob, what are your thoughts on the doubleheader as a whole?
BU in that first game quickly got down 2-0 and scored 16 unanswered runs. Yale was not able to score another run. So I'm sure disappointing for Yale, but fantastic 2 games for BU.
Yeah, like you said, it was close in the early goings of Game 1, and the Terriers' bats just caught fire. But, folks, thank you all so much for tuning in to this college softball broadcast for the Patriot League on ESPN. Alongside my broadcast partner, Rob Marcello, I'm Leverett Ball. This has been a production of ESPN. Thanks for tuning in.